Hey Jude, don't make it bad.
1968, a year when rock didn't just fill the airwaves, it changed the very rhythm of our lives. Hey everyone, welcome back to Vinyl Vistas. Today we're taking a trip through 13 rock songs from 1968 that forever altered the landscape of music. These aren't just hits, they're the kind of tunes that ignited a revolution, inspired generations of musicians, and helped define the sound of an entire era.
The preacher talked with me and he smiled.
Whether you were there to experience it firsthand or you're just diving into the magic of the 60s, get ready to relive the moments, the energy, and the music that made an impact on the world. So turn up the stereo, sit back, and enjoy the ride. This isn't just a trip down memory lane. This is rock and roll history. You won't want to miss a single note.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad.
Hey Jude by the Beatles is more than just a song. It's an anthem of comfort, resilience, and human connection.
Then you can start to make it better.
Released in August 1968, it quickly became one of the band's most beloved and enduring hits. Written primarily by Paul McCartney for John Lennon's son, Julian, during his parents' separation, the song was originally titled Hey Jules, before evolving into the version we all know. The Beatles were formed in Liverpool in the early 1960s, comprising of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. With over 600 million records sold, multiple Grammy Awards, an Academy Award, and induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, their influence spans generations. Hey Jude was the first Beatles song to be recorded on 8-track recording equipment. The sessions took place at Trident Studios in central London, midway through the recording of the group's self-titled double album, also known as the White Album. Clocking in at over 7 minutes, Hey Jude was remarkably long for radio at the time, yet it broke all the rules and soared. With its gentle piano intro, emotional lyrics, and unforgettable sing-along coda. Hey Jude has been covered by countless artists, including Elton John and Sting.
Hey Jude, don't be afraid.
It topped the charts in both the UK and the US, staying at #1 in America for 9 weeks, a record at the time for a Beatles single. Hello, I Love You by The Doors is a punchy, psychedelic rock hit that brought the band even deeper into mainstream success. Released in July 1968, it quickly rose to the top of the charts, showing a lighter, more radio-friendly side of a group often known for their darker, bluesy sound and poetic mystique. The Doors were an American rock band formed in Los Angeles in 1965, comprising vocalist Jim Morrison, keyboardist Ray Manzarek, guitarist Robbie Krieger, and drummer John Densmore. Known for their moody sound, Morrison's deep voice, and provocative lyrics, the Doors combined rock with jazz, classical, and psychedelia. Their music explored love, death, freedom, and the unknown, all with a bold sense of rebellion. With its driving beat, fuzzy guitar riff, and Morrison's confident delivery, it became one of the band's most accessible hits. Hello, I Love You remains a breezy, energetic snapshot of the Doors at their most pop-friendly. Piece of My Heart by Big Brother and the Holding Company featuring Janis Joplin is a raw, emotional powerhouse of a song, and one of the defining anthems of the late 1960s rock era.
Oh, take it!
Released in 1968, this track introduced many listeners to the electrifying voice of Janis Joplin, who would soon become one of the most iconic rock and blues singers of all time.
Oh, honey, like you, the only man I ever wanted and I ever needed.
Big Brother and the Holding Company was part of the San Francisco psychedelic rock scene, blending acid rock with blues and hard rock. But when they teamed up with Janis Joplin, everything changed. Janis brought unfiltered soul, a raspy, blues-drenched voice, and unmatched emotional intensity. She didn't just sing songs, she lived them. Piece of My Heart was originally recorded by Irma Franklin, Aretha's sister, in 1967, but Joplin and the band transformed it into something entirely new. A volcanic mix of heartbreak, defiance, and liberation. What makes Piece of My Heart legendary is Joplin's performance. She takes the lyrics, about giving everything to someone who doesn't deserve it, and turns them into a cathartic scream for freedom. Her delivery builds and explodes, making listeners feel every ounce of her pain and pride. It quickly became a counterculture anthem, especially for young women finding their voice during a time of great social upheaval. Piece of My Heart was later covered by Faith Hill with a country rendition in the 1990s. And by Melissa Etheridge as a tribute at the Grammy Awards, honoring Janis and her influence on female rock vocalists.
You know you got it.
All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix is one of the most iconic rock tracks of all time. A fiery, electrifying interpretation of Bob Dylan's 1967 song. Released by the Jimi Hendrix Experience in September 1968, it became Hendrix's biggest U.S. hit, and many consider it the definitive version of the song. Backed by Noel Redding on bass and Mitch Mitchell on drums, the Jimi Hendrix Experience became one of the most creative and dynamic bands of the psychedelic era. Jimi Hendrix was a trailblazing guitarist, singer, and songwriter who redefined what the electric guitar could do. Known for his innovative playing, feedback mastery, and explosive live shows, Hendrix was at the center of the late 60s rock revolution. Though his mainstream career was tragically short, his influence is still felt in virtually every genre of rock. The guitar solo, one of the most famous in rock history, showcased Hendrix's command of tone, phrasing, and emotion, all in service of storytelling. Other famous bands who later paid tribute to this song include Dave Matthews Band, U2, and Pearl Jam.
I can't get no relief. I can't get no relief. Businessman, they drink my wine.
Bob Dylan, impressed by Hendrix's interpretation, reworked his own live performances to reflect Hendrix's arrangement. Jumpin' Jack Flash by the Rolling Stones is one of rock music's most enduring anthems. Raw, rebellious, and bursting with swagger.
I was born in a crossfire hurricane.
Released as a single in May 1968, it marked a powerful return to gritty blues-based rock for the Stones after some of their more psychedelic experiments.
I'm jumping Jack Flash, it's a gas, gas, gas.
Formed in London in 1962, the Rolling Stones, led by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, with Charlie Watts, Brian Jones, and Bill Wyman, were seen as the rougher, more dangerous counterparts to the Beatles. The song opens with one of Keith Richards' most iconic guitar riffs, instantly recognizable and charged with electricity. It captured the restless, rebellious spirit of the late 60s, especially among young people pushing against social and political constraints. This song was covered in 1986 by Aretha Franklin in a powerful soul rock version, and later also by Peter Frampton and Motorhead. With its fierce energy, unforgettable riff, and sense of defiant survival, Jumpin' Jack Flash remains a timeless classic, proof that the Stones were, and still are, one of the greatest rock bands to ever hit the stage.
I'm jumping Jack Flash, it's a gas, gas, gas. I'm jumping Jack Flash. Jumping Jack Flash. Jumping Jack Flash. Jumping Jack Flash.
Hush by Deep Purple is a dynamic, organ-driven rock classic that introduced the world to a band who would soon become one of the pillars of hard rock and heavy metal. Released in 1968, it was Deep Purple's first major hit, a high-energy blend of rock, soul, and psychedelia that still stands tall among the best of the era. Formed in 1968 in England, Deep Purple combined the classical training of keyboardist John Lord, the searing guitar of Ritchie Blackmore, and the powerful vocals of Rod Evans to create something entirely their own. Though they would go on to become known for hard rock staples like Smoke on the Water, their early sound was more psychedelic and progressive, and Hush was their explosive debut. Hush were later covered by Kula Shaker in the 1990s with a Britpop twist. In 1988, Deep Purple re-recorded it with a new lineup in 1988 for the band's 20th anniversary.
Hush, hush, I thought I heard a call my name now. Hush.
Bold, groovy, and full of psychedelic flair, Hush was the beginning of a long and thunderous journey for Deep Purple, one that would help shape the sound of rock for generations to come.
I got a certain little girl, she's on my mind.
All the world over so easy to see. People everywhere just wanna be free.
People Got to Be Free by the Rascals is a heartfelt, gospel-tinged soul rock anthem that captured the spirit of hope and unity during one of America's most turbulent years.
Everyone learned to
Released just weeks after the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, the song struck a deep chord with listeners and became a rallying cry for peace, civil rights, and togetherness. Originally known as the Young Rascals, this New Jersey band, featuring Felix Cavaliere, Eddie Brigati, Gene Cornish, and Dino Danelli, blended soul, rock, and pop with a joyous energy. Released in July 1968, People Got to Be Free is both a plea and a celebration, a simple yet powerful message delivered with emotional urgency. The song opens with a train whistle guitar riff and builds into a gospel-inspired chorus filled with harmonies, horns, and hopeful lyrics.
be free.
People Got to Be Free remains a shining example of music's power to heal and unite. A reminder from a remarkable time when songs didn't just entertain, they inspired.
taunted me and he smiled.
I've Gotta Get a Message to You by the BeeGees is a deeply emotional ballad that showed the band's gift for storytelling, harmony, and heartfelt drama.
I just gotta get a message to you. Oh,
Released in 1968, this haunting track marked a major moment for the BeeGees, both artistically and commercially, and remains one of their most memorable songs from their pre-disco era.
but if I broke her heart, then won't you tell her I'm sorry?
The BeeGees, brothers Barry, Robin, and Maurice Gibb, began their musical journey in the 1960s, blending pop, rock, and orchestral balladry with soaring harmonies that would become their signature.
The preacher talked with me and he smiled.
This song tells the fictional story of a man on death row, desperately trying to send a final message to his wife before his execution. It's a tender, tragic ballad with Robin Gibb's trembling lead vocal bringing raw vulnerability to the narrative.
One more hour and my life will be through.
This song was later covered by Robin with the Soldiers, a UK vocal group of real-life servicemen in 2010 as a charity single.
One more hour and my life will be through.
With its aching melody, soaring harmonies, and timeless emotion, I've Gotta Get a Message to You remains a standout track in the BeeGees' early catalog, a reminder of their storytelling brilliance.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf is more than just a song. It's a full-throttle anthem of freedom, rebellion, and open-road adventure that became synonymous with the spirit of the late 1960s. Released in 1968, it captured the restless energy of a generation looking to break away from convention. And in doing so, it helped ignite a new era of rock. Formed in Los Angeles in 1967, Steppenwolf quickly built a reputation for loud, gritty, and blues-influenced rock. Their name came from the Hermann Hesse novel, a nod to the band's more intellectual and countercultural edge. From the opening roaring guitar riff, Born to Be Wild practically pulses with adrenaline. It's often called the first heavy metal song, due in part to the lyric heavy metal thunder, even though the genre hadn't been fully defined yet.
Looking for adventure.
This song was interestingly covered by Ozzy Osbourne and Miss Piggy from Muppets from Space, and later also by Blue Oyster Cult, Bruce Springsteen, and Slade in live performances.
We can fly so high, I'm never gonna die.
Fast, loud, and forever free, Born to Be Wild is one of those rare songs that defined an era, coined a genre, and still sounds just as thrilling today as it did when it first blared from car radios and movie screens in 1968. Cry Like a Baby by the Box Tops is a soulful, richly produced pop hit from 1968 that full of the Memphis sound meeting late 60s pop and making magic. It's a song that still tugs at the heart. Sunshine of Your Love by Cream is one of the most iconic tracks of the 1960s. A fusion of blues, rock, and psychedelia that has since become a cornerstone of classic rock. Released in 1967 as part of their album Disraeli Gears, and later as a single in the UK in September 1968, This song is often regarded as one of the greatest rock songs of all time. Formed in 1966, Cream was a supergroup consisting of Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker. The trio became known for their musical virtuosity, blending blues, jazz, and rock in groundbreaking ways. Though their time together was short-lived, they left an indelible mark on rock music and are often credited with pioneering hard rock and heavy metal. Sunshine of Your Love is one of the most instantly recognizable tracks in the rock genre, thanks to its iconic guitar riff played by Clapton, who was at the height of his career. The riff is soulful and sensual, paired with Jack Bruce's bluesy vocals and a laid-back, groovy rhythm. Jimi Hendrix, a contemporary and friend of Clapton, performed a tribute of this song in his live shows.
Dedicated song to the Cream, the Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker, and Jack Bruce.
With its unforgettable riff, soulful vocals, and perfect mix of blues and psychedelia, Sunshine of Your Love remains a classic that continues to influence guitarists and musicians worldwide. Mrs. Robinson by Simon and Garfunkel is one of the most beloved and enduring songs from the 1960s, a folk pop classic that not only captured the spirit of the time, but also became synonymous with the cultural changes of the era. Released in 1968, it became a symbol of the generation's desire for change, self-reflection, and questioning of traditional values. Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel were the folk duo that achieved worldwide fame for their beautiful harmonies and insightful songwriting. While they started out as a part of the folk music movement, they soon expanded their sound to include elements of pop, rock, and even orchestral arrangements, making their music both commercially successful and critically acclaimed. Originally written by Paul Simon for the soundtrack of the 1967 film The Graduate, Mrs. Robinson became an instant cultural phenomenon. The song's iconic acoustic guitar riff and catchy melody are paired with biting, introspective lyrics. The song was already a significant part of pop culture, but its inclusion in The Graduate elevated it to even greater heights, cementing its place in the soundtrack of a changing world.
From the kids who look at you, Mrs. Robinson.
I Heard It Through the Grapevine by Marvin Gaye is a soulful classic that captured heartbreak, suspicion, and betrayal with a slow-burning intensity that still resonates today. Released in October 1968, it became Marvin Gaye's biggest hit at the time, and a defining song of Motown's golden era. Known as the Prince of Motown, Marvin Gaye was one of the most gifted and expressive vocalists of the 20th century. Starting as a session drummer at Motown, he eventually emerged as a leading solo artist with a voice that could be smooth as silk or aching with raw emotion. I Heard It Through the Grapevine wasn't just a hit, it was a masterclass in musical storytelling. Gaye's voice is haunted, restrained, and wounded, perfectly capturing the paranoia of discovering a lover's betrayal through gossip. The tension is built on a bed of hypnotic bass, strings, and percussion, thanks to Motown's legendary house band, the Funk Brothers. In 1970, Creedence Clearwater Revival did an 11-minute psychedelic rock cover, giving it a very different flavor.
I paid it to the grapevine. Not much longer would you be mine.
I Heard It Through the Grapevine remains a soulful classic. Proof that sometimes less is more, and heartbreak can be beautiful when sung by a master. And that's a wrap for today's journey through the sound waves of 1968. From the rebellious anthems to the soulful ballads, these songs weren't just music, they were the pulse of a generation. If these tracks got your heart racing and your mind drifting back to those unforgettable times, be sure to hit that like and follow button so you don't miss out on our next trip through musical history. Until then, keep the music playing, keep the spirit alive, and remember, the best is yet to come. Thanks for joining us on Vinyl Vistas. Stay groovy and see you next time.